Hey everybody, Fox 35, Storm Team Meteorologist Laurel Blanchard here with your Friday afternoon forecast. And boy, it was chilly this morning. And that is our question of the day is how cold was it in your neck of the woods earlier on today? We did set some records, pretty exciting, but not necessarily for the best way. And today we're seeing those temperatures comfortable, very clever, especially in comfortable weather where it's like, okay, you can wear a long sleeve, you can wear a hoodie and still be comfortable. There is a little bit of a breeze continuing to move in, but it's going to warm up and it's almost going to be feeling like the cold snap is over, and then we're seeing another round move in. So don't get too comfy quite yet. Keep the sweaters, keep the vests, keep the long sleeves out for at least a little while longer because we are going to be seeing another round of cooler air coming up to kick off the work week. So let us know where you're watching in from. Let us know how cold it got in your neck of the woods earlier on today. We are live here on Fox Local, Facebook, and YouTube for the next half hour. So definitely write in and also let us know what your weekend plans are. We would love to know. And we will also give you a personalized forecast for what you are planning for coming up this weekend. So, of course, our question of the day, kind of already hinted to it a little bit. Were you cold this morning? And personally, I was as well. So I feel like my dog didn't get the memo that it was chilly this morning because I kid you not, she was pawing at the door to go outside first thing. And she stepped 1 foot outside, got fully out the door, and then she was like, nope, I'm going back inside. And I kid you not, she came back in the house, hopped up on my bed, and went underneath the covers because it was so chilly at about 5 o'clock this morning, which is when we were seeing temperatures here in Seminole County in the low 30s. It was chilly for sure. Orlando hit 32 degrees. That is the first time we've hit 32 degrees, and this is one of the coldest January 16th specifically on record in 48 years. We hit 32 degrees in Orlando this morning, and Melbourne broke a record. Let me double check my words on this one. So new record low for Melbourne, Florida. That was 33 degrees, breaking the previous record of 34 degrees in 1983. And again, this is the coldest January 16th that we've had in 48 years. And this is also the coldest temperatures that we've had to date in just over 3 years. So I know that's a lot of dates thrown at you. Moral of the story, it was cold. And it was very chilly this morning. And again, I don't know about you, but I saw a little bit of frost on my lawn earlier today. Luckily, I am fortunate enough to be able to park my car in the garage, so I did not have to scrape off my windshield earlier today. But I know Garrett Weimer, he definitely did. So it was very chilly all across the region. I hope you were prepared for it this morning. Kind of gave yourself a little bit of extra time in order to get the car warmed up, kind of get out the door, because it definitely was cold. And again, we're going to be seeing these temperatures once again as we take a look at the start of the work week. So the cold is not over yet. It is still January for sure, but we're going to slowly start to feel those little bit more of those Florida-like temperatures as we take a look a little bit later on in the week. So that's kind of like the big overview of what we're seeing right now. Seeing a couple people writing in, Berlinda and Kissimmee writing in, Anthony writing in on Facebook as well. It was freezing cold this morning and he's from Orlando. And also writing in, Mike Kern, we were in shorts out the door and closed it very quickly. Mike, you and me both. 23 degrees it was. Mike, let us know where you're watching from on Facebook. So that's what we're seeing out there across the region right now. Still those very chilly temperatures. And as we do take a look outside, currently here is Lake Fairview. Beautiful blue skies out there. We are still seeing a little bit of a breeze kind of still kicking in, but those crystal clear skies in that lake is literally like glass. Is that a smudge? The one soul cloud that is out there right now. It is absolutely stunning. And also, again, that lake is just like glass out there. That proves just how calm it is. And that's one thing that we're going to be watching through the overnight tonight because of those calm and clear conditions and just that little bit of moisture. There could be some patchy fog, especially in Gainesville, Ocala, and along the beaches, especially as we head through the overnight tonight. So just heads up if you do have any early morning plans, just kick off your weekend. So that's what we're looking at as we take a look at the rest of the evening. Temperatures are still chilly, so we're right now seeing temperatures barely hanging on to the 60s, 59 degrees, with winds still on the breezy side coming in from the east-northeast at 8 miles per hour. But it is gorgeous out there. Again, kind of just reminding you that it is winter. I know sometimes I was talking with one of our floor directors out here. We're both originally from up north, and we kind of miss the cold every once in a while. So when I went home for Christmas, I got that little bit of a cold fix, and it was great. It was just what I needed to kind of like jumpstart myself into remembering that it is still winter, and it of course isn't just endless summer here in Florida. So it is kind of a nice little reminder, a nice way to kind of set yourself in the season. Temperatures right now, again, throughout the upper 50s here in Orlando. So let's kind of talk a little bit of big picture of what's coming in as we take a look ahead to Monday. So here is the next 3 days. Saturday, we're going to see those temperatures even a little bit warmer. It's almost going to be seasonable temperatures for this time of year in the low 70s. Taking a look Saturday night and Sunday morning, still beautiful. Temperatures warmer than what we were, but I feel like anything's warmer than what we were this morning. Sunday, 62 degrees, a little bit cooler, but this is our next cold front. We'll definitely dig a little bit deeper into this coming up in a little bit. And then we see another cold snap. That is coming up on Monday, 57 degrees, looking at a low of 34 degrees, which is quite literally battling the temperatures of what we felt this morning. So we could be feeling those temperatures just as cold as we were today coming up on Monday. So I know this is a little bit of a tease, but just make sure you are keeping those sweaters out, keeping those heavier jackets out, because you will need them as you're heading out the door on Monday morning. So kind of just heed that warning right there. I know this is a little bit of a tease with the temperatures that we have coming up tomorrow, near 70. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be beautiful. You're probably going to be thinking, this is it. That was it. That was the cold snap, and now we're done. Not quite yet. So keep those sweaters out, especially as we head into your Sunday morning. Reason why we're stressing that so much is, again, because it was cold this morning, and that's exactly what it's going to be like on Monday morning. So we do have another storm team alert for widespread freezing temperatures. Taking a look once again at wind chills in the 20s. So here's our freeze watches. Freeze watches are usually put out by the National Weather Service when we see the possibility of freezing temperatures more than 72 hours out. Once we get closer to like that 36, 48, 24 hour range, then we get those freeze warnings like what we just saw this morning. And again, freeze warnings in effect 1 a.m. to 9 a.m. near freezing temperatures as we take a look across Gilchrist County, Alachua, Marion, as well as Flagler County. So those areas that were very chilly this morning, heads up, it's probably going to be very, very chilly. Taking a look Monday morning as well. So here's what we're also looking at, and then we'll kind of put numbers into this after the break. But we can see right here, this is where the freeze most likely is on Monday morning. I know it says Friday, I forgot to switch it, but this is the data that's accurate as we take a look ahead to Monday morning. And while I'm thinking about it, and while I'm right here, there we go. So that's what we're looking at. So where the freeze is most likely going to be, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Ocala, not stretching as far to the coast as what we saw this morning, but you can see any areas in the dark purple, you're most likely going to be in the 20s or the low 30s. If you see your area right along this teal line, you're probably going to be seeing those temperatures just at freezing. So the main possibility of frost is going to be basically Ocala, the villages northward. And then areas closer to Daytona Beach, Claremont, areas closer to Orlando, DeBary, basically anywhere along I-4 as well. You're probably going to be above 32 degrees, taking a look ahead to Monday morning. And again, it's still going to be cold. Even though you're probably not going to be seeing those freezing temperatures once again, it's still going to be chilly. So just make sure you are taking the proper precautions in order to make sure yourself, your pets, your plants are staying safe from the cold. I know it's usually like that quick cold snap, but things definitely can still get a little hurt with that cold. All right, Fox Local, we're going to send you to a very brief break coming up. In the meantime, let's take a look at some comments, and we'll show your comments a little bit later on in the show. Elaine Tovet saying very cold with strong winds today in Massachusetts. Elaine, heads up, you're probably going to be seeing a little bit of snow coming up Sunday into Monday. DeLacy Barr Grimsley writing in from Port St. Lucie. It was 37 degrees this morning. My goodness, that's chilly. And then Ed also writing in on Facebook. I'm a Florida boy, but my bones can't handle the temperatures changing up and down so quickly. I hear you, sir, for sure. It was very cold this morning, and I have to say, personally, and I'm going to pump myself up full for this. Listen, and I don't know why my light is going in and out. Hold on, stand by. There we go. While we're on a quick break from Fox Local, Listen, Jessica Dobson said it perfectly, and if you don't follow her on Facebook, go follow her. Posts fantastic stuff on there, and she quite literally posted one of the most amazing things earlier today. In GDO, of course, Good Day Orlando, they are on the news for 7 hours straight. So, of course, you need a little bit of coffee in order to get through that shift. That's a lot of news in one shift. And with the traffic, or Stephanie's our traffic anchor, and she has a couple of breaks in from time to time, so she very lovingly offers to go grab coffee or go on a coffee break. And I don't care how cold the temperatures are, and Jessica's with me on this one, I will always get an iced coffee. It doesn't matter if it's 20 below or 200 degrees, I'm still going to get a nice coffee either way. So let us know what your coffee order is, especially on days like this. Again, we are live on Facebook and YouTube, and we're just making a little bit of a segue until our Fox Local friends come back. Taking a look, seeing in our YouTube page, someone writing in from Longwood saying, I've never in my life seen ice like what scraped off my car windshield this morning. It was coming off and almost sheets of ice, and the car registered 31 degrees. Yeah, it was chilly this morning. Way too cold from Maria Robinson. Berlinda also writing in saying, I'm leaving my water running. Yes, so if you're in areas especially near Kissimmee, Berlinda might not get as cold there, but still great advice right there just to keep the faucet at a drip in case you're a little bit concerned about your pipes freezing over. So just a heads up with that. Great advice coming in from our YouTube page. So keep it coming, folks. Let's have fun on this Friday. But yeah, again, coffee orders. If you're like me, you need a nice coffee no matter how cold it is, I'm right there with you, folks. All right, folks, on our Fox Local page, welcome back. Let's get a little bit more in detail about what we could be seeing when it comes to Sunday. Let's time out that cold front, and let's just really break down what we could be seeing, because we are also going to be expecting some scattered showers as we take a look ahead to our back half of the weekend. So that's what we're seeing right now. As we do take a look at the timing first, and then we'll kind of put numbers to everything as well. Let's just take you hour by hour of what we can expect as we take a look at Sunday. So here's Saturday, 10 a.m. It will be cool, but nowhere near as chilly as what we saw this morning. So if you are planning on going to the theme parks, you will probably need to dress in layers. So heads up. Long sleeve maybe to start, pack a t-shirt, because it will get warmer in the afternoon, but you may probably still will need like the leggings or the jeans, but you probably can switch out a couple layers if you are heading to the theme park. So chilly start, warmer afternoon. Then we see our 1-2 punch. So we kind of had this one punch taking a look at yesterday. We had that cold snap that of course brought us in the chilly temperatures this morning. And now we're going to be seeing another one. So quite literally rinse and repeat when it comes to temperatures here in Central Florida. I really specifically am talking about Central Florida here. We'll talk a little bit more bigger picture as we play this through hour by hour. So we can see right here, taking a look, the Saturday, absolutely beautiful. Will be on the windy side, but overall it's going to be a gorgeous way to start off the weekend. And then we see this low pressure system kind of start to make its way into the panhandle. So as this low pressure system kind of follows up between Georgia, Alabama, parts of Mississippi, and up through the panhandle, what this is going to do is push showers across Central Florida and us here in Orlando, but we see a lot of this cool air interact with the precipitation across Alabama and Georgia, and this is what could possibly bring the chance of some snow. Nowhere near as drastic as what we saw last year, though, kind of making that point blank. But overall, we could be seeing another snow event, which means 2 years in a row we are seeing snow in Florida. So let's play this through again hour by hour. This is Sunday morning. Saturday here in Central Florida, gorgeous. We're going to see some scattered showers up in the panhandle as this frontal boundary is starting to move in. But you can kind of start to see, here's all that cold air, Memphis, Atlanta, Dallas, down towards Houston. You can see a little bit of that mixing and the possibility of some snow and maybe even some ice starting to take place in southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and also the panhandle as we play through into your Sunday morning. So here's where we see, again, kind of that mixing start to happen. We can see that possibility of ice across the panhandle in the way western panhandle, but you can also see some snow starting to fall, especially in central Georgia. And this is kind of going to get laced up through areas across the Carolinas, but most likely the cold air is probably not going to tap in as much as it makes its way up into central North Carolina and Virginia. But I do want to play this out even a little bit further. So us here in Orlando, we are not expecting snow. So making that point blank right now, but there is the possibility of a little bit of accumulation in the panhandle. And we'll take a look at some numbers in a second. But I do, now that of course I did see Elaine in the chat as well on Facebook. This is what it could mean for New England, though. We kind of see this low pressure system scoot off the coast of Cape Cod, Rhode Island. And what this could do is be almost a typical nor'easter, kind of follow up the east coast and settle just off the coast of Cape Cod. This is what's going to be bringing in that Arctic air, allowing that air to kind of interact with all of this precipitation that we have down here, most likely bringing snow to New Jersey, parts of Connecticut, and then, of course, Massachusetts, especially eastern Mass. And if you're on the North Shore, South Shore, Cape, you're probably going to be seeing snow as we take a look Sunday night into Monday morning. And most likely going to be seeing that snow linger until probably about Monday 3 a.m.-ish as the cold really sets in across the eastern U.S. So that's kind of the timing of what we can see with the cold right there. Emily Gomez writing in saying, is it going to freeze again tonight or when? So let's talk about that. So now we kind of made the timing out. And before I get too far ahead of myself, let's kind of keep it local for a second. So we talked about the possibility of snow everywhere, but for us here in Orlando, we're just going to be seeing some scattered showers on Sunday. So here's what we're looking at. Here's Sunday morning, starting to see some scattered showers up in Gainesville area. That rain kind of creeping down as we take a look Sunday midday, but it's out of here by later on Sunday evening before the cold sets in. So Emily, next chance of some freezing temperatures is going to be late Sunday night, early Monday morning, pretty similar to what we saw this morning. So here is some totals, and then we'll take a look at some numbers in a second. I'm just going to make sure my dates are correct because I think I did make a little bit of an oops. There we go. Yeah, those numbers look a lot better. There we go. I know that kind of like ruined and spoiled it, but here's what the thermometer is most likely going to read taking a look on Monday morning. So this is Monday morning, 6 a.m. This is what the thermometer is going to read. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s up in Gainesville, north of I-4, lingering just above freezing south of I-4. So that's a kind of like the big picture there. And then as we do also take a look, here is the wind chill. So just like what we saw this morning, that wind was blowing, and it was blowing last night. You could just feel that cold air surging into the region, and this is what the feels like temperatures are going to be. This is adding in already the cold temperatures, but also adding in the wind speeds. This is what's going to drop our temperatures quite a bit. And Fox Local, we'll send you to a break in a second, but I had a great conversation yesterday. If you tuned in 5, 6, 8, 10, and 11, yesterday, I was out in a citrus field in Claremont and Lake County. It was so much fun. They were so informative of how they take care of their crops. And Fox Local, we're going to send you to a break in a second, but I'll keep our temperatures of what it's going to read on the thermometer taking a look on Monday morning. We'll send you to a quick break, but we will be right back. I'll be talking about what I did yesterday at the citrus farm. So taking a look, temperatures that fall below 30 degrees, that's when citrus farmers really need to pay attention, because when temperatures get that cold, the citrus plant gets damaged or even possibly parts of it die because of that, of how cold it is. They are warm weather plants, hence why they grow here in Florida and they strive here in Florida. But when we see these little cold snaps, farmers really need to pay attention. So when temperatures fall below 30 degrees, that's when farmers kind of really need to kick into gear. So what they do is when they see those temperatures fall below 30 degrees, they put the sprinklers on. And as much as you kind of think that's counterproductive, like what is that going to do? It's just going to create ice on the plants. that's exactly what they're trying to do. So as counterproductive as it sounds, this actually helps the plant in the best way possible. So as the sprinklers turn on, they coat the trunk of the tree, which is the most important part, because that's where all the roots is. That's the main connection to the ground. That's where it creates this little cocoon of ice, and basically it freezes on contact. Of course, when you have water kind of spraying and it hits a surface and that cold of temperatures, it creates this quite literal warm cocoon of ice around the plant, and it coats the blossoms, it coats the fruit, it coats the trunk, and so the entire plant is essentially in this cocoon of ice, and that's what allows it to stay warm when the temperatures get chilly. So that is what farmers do in order to create kind of like those ice cocoons that keep the plants warm and keep the citrus plants protected when the temperatures get this chilly. So again, when I was talking with Showcase of Citrus, they really kick into action when those temperatures fall below 30 degrees. 32 degrees is fine. They hit 33 degrees this morning, so they did not need to take any cold weather precautions, but they were ready to jump into action when it did get a chilly, and they're possibly looking at another chance of that, taking a look ahead into Monday morning. So Claremont expected to see those temperatures fall down into the low 30s, but most likely not going to be seeing those temperatures fall below 30 degrees. With that wind blowing in, yes, of course, it's going to be feeling like below 30, but it definitely will be on the chilly side for sure, taking a look ahead into Monday morning. But it was a great time yesterday, because if you haven't been to Showcase of Citrus and you live here in Florida, it is such a blast. I did not realize they had animals there, and I don't know if I have a photo, but I will play parts of a video and show it as we kind of wait for our Fox local friends to kind of come back. And if you follow me on Facebook, if you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, you'll see a video of this. So I hung out with baby goats yesterday, and you can see a parrot in the back, and in order to protect the baby goats, the parrots, and also they have lemurs too. Those were cool. They get them into like a little coop, and they keep the temperature cranked up to 85 degrees. So honestly, they were living the life yesterday. They had the bedding, they had their hay, and the lemurs were all nice and warm. So honestly, they were doing it right. I wish I was one of them, kind of huddled up with them with the cold night yesterday. All right, Fox Local friends, welcome back. Let's talk a little bit more about the cold, and I'm going to bring in Brooks Gardner in a second to kind of round this out, because again, we're going to be expecting snow in areas across the Panhandle, but that's what we're expecting, especially as you wake up temperature-wise, very similar to what we saw this morning as you wake up on your Monday morning. Also taking a look, let's add in that wind speed as well. So temperature is going to be feeling like 30 degrees in Orlando, feeling like 29 in Claremont, feeling like low and mid 20s in Gainesville, Palm Coast, and Ocala. So we talked to the possibility for some snow in across the Panhandle and across central Georgia. This is what models are saying right now. And again, things can very much change, but this is what one of the models are saying. And of course, none of the colors are coming up. We'll fix that in a second. But we could be looking at 1 to 3 inches of snow in across the Panhandle up through Georgia, and even maybe an inch or so of rain, taking a look ahead into central South Carolina. Just a reminder, we had record-setting snow this time last year, and we had 9 inches of rain in Pensacola, 10 to 12 inches of snow, 9 inches of snow in Pensacola, 10 to 12 inches of snow in New Orleans, and there was 10 inches of snow in Lafayette, Louisiana. That's crazy amounts of snow, especially for the Gulf Coast. So crazy snow totals. This is not going to be an event like it was last year. But of course, the weather is a tricky thing. But again, one thing that we can say for sure is that we're probably not going to be seeing a snow event just like we did see for this. But with a little bit more on that snow, here's meteorologist Brooks Gardner.
Well, it's that time of the year when Florida has its highest chance of seeing snow, which is always a very low chance. But it just so happens to be that next week is the 1-year anniversary of a truly historic snowstorm for the Sunshine State, the most snow ever recorded in Florida history. And that was over 9 inches on the Panhandle, which was so much, and we have so little snow removal equipment, that it shut down I-10 for a couple of days for a huge stretch from basically the Big Bend all the way to the Alabama border. And big snowfall totals falling in parts of Louisiana as well, all the way back through Houston, Texas. Now, as cyclical as weather can be, this is where it gets crazy. We could see a repeat performance of more snow. Now, there are no signals that this one will be anywhere near as big as that snowstorm. However, there are signs 3 days out now that not only we could see snow in Florida, but we could see some modest accumulations, and this is why. A second Arctic cold front is going to make an approach from the north. And this is not to be confused with the one coming in right now that's going to make for a frigid Friday morning. Now, the one currently is free of moisture, no precipitation at all. This is the second one that low pressure may develop on, and in doing so, pick up Atlantic moisture and force it into the cold air. Now, the big wild card is twofold. Will this low develop? And if it does, how strong will it be? Obviously, two determining factors to figure out if we're going to get any snow at all, much less any accumulating snow. But the best guess at this point is that yes, low pressure looks to develop, probably a modest low, sending snow back into the southeast for a period during the day on Sunday, moving in from west to east. Now, it could be briefly heavy, but not as heavy as it came in last year because the air is not quite as cold, the low not quite as strong. But that could change. We'll see. It's going to be another shot of cold air for early next week with lows here close to freezing, highs in the 50s. Now, as far as snow goes, how far do you have to drive if hypothetically you wanted to show your kids what the snow looks like? Well, remember, we're several days out, so this is subject to change. But the earliest indications suggest once you get up to the Florida-Georgia line, maybe I-95 heading up toward Brunswick, Georgia, you might start to see a little bit of snow, maybe up toward Valdosta. In our panhandle, it's possible, not as likely, but there may be flakes flying representing a trace of snow accumulation in Appalachia Bay, that region all the way west to Apalachicola. And once you get north toward Tallahassee, maybe a coating on the grassy surfaces. The roads would just be wet. But always an anomaly, as they say, always unusual to see snow in the southeast any year, much less 2 years in a row. And depending on how it all comes together, there could be a little stripe here in the South Carolina low country of between 1 and 3 inches, with a few spots getting even more than that. So as they say in weather, we will stay tuned.
Thanks, Brooks. I appreciate it. And it is going to be the coldest. The temperatures that we saw this morning were the coldest that we've seen on January 16th in 48 years. 32 degrees in Orlando. It hit this morning. And we're going to be seeing another round of that associated with that snow that moved in. And that's going to be moving in as we take a look ahead to Monday. So that's kind of what we're going to be expecting as we head through the next couple of days. So folks, I hope you are prepared. As we wrap up for today, we have a couple of extra minutes. Let's take a look at some of the comments that you have. And it is just, again, a very chilly morning, and we're going to be continuing to see those very chilly temperatures. So in the meantime, kind of while we take a look at our comment section, here is your 7-day forecast. So over the next couple days, again, it will be chilly for sure. But again, over the next 2 days, we're not going to be seeing those temperatures as chilly as what we saw them this morning. So temperatures tomorrow, warmer. And I say warmer because of that exact reason. It's going to be warmer, but don't definitely let your guard down because it will be on the chilly side out there for sure. So here is your 7-day. And here is some folks that are writing in. So here is what we're looking at here. Bria Robinson saying it's way too cold. I absolutely agree. And we're also seeing Elaine Tovett saying thank you for the forecast for Massachusetts. And yes, always hot coffee. That I have to disagree with you there. So overall, 7-day forecast for us here in Orlando. Seeing those very scattered showers, taking a look at Sunday, a couple of scattered showers here and there, no severe weather here in Orlando. So good news right there. Much needed little drink of water, and it will be breezy. Taking a look Monday, cooler temperatures dropping down into the upper 50s, but then we see those chilly temperatures Monday morning, still seeing those cooler temperatures, taking a look Monday afternoon, and then we slowly warm up from there. Temperatures back in the mid 70s this time next week. Thanks everyone for hanging out on this Friday. We'll be back here same time, same place next week. Make sure you see us then. Have a good one. Have a great weekend as well.